4年総額2億4000万ドルという大型契約でロサンゼルスドジャースへの移籍が決まったカイル・タッカー選手。FA 市場を騒がせたビッグディールとして大きな注目を集める一方で、古巣となるカブスの球団関係者が放ったまさかの一言が波紋を広げています。そのコメントはタッカー選手の人格面にまで踏み込んだ内容で、それを聞いた元 MLB 捕手の ピアジンスキー氏とエリック・クラッツ氏らがファウルテリトリーで猛反論しました。なぜカブス関係者の発言がここまで問題視されたのか、そしてピアジンスキー氏とクラッツ氏は何を訴えたのか、その内容を日本語字幕付きでご紹介しますので、ぜひ最後までご覧ください。
I want to know what you make of this. An anonymous, which is interesting, an anonymous Cubs staffer on Kyle Tucker's departure. And I quote, I watched him in the clubhouse. He checks his phone more than he checks the scouting report. He's got all the talent in the world, but the motor, it's not there. He's got his bag and good for him. But if you're asking me if I'd want him in a foxhole in game 7, I'd take a rookie who's hungry over a $60 million guy who looks bored. Now, again, an anonymous staffer, which I don't know, say what you will about that. That could be anybody. It could be bullshit. It could be whatever. I don't think it's fair to have already written the narrative of Kyle Tucker of how he's going to be in Los Angeles. He's obviously an incredibly good player. And the reason I say that is because I do have this from a very good source, somebody that knows Kyle Tucker incredibly well. And I asked him about the narrative and whether or not, that's fair. He said, good guy, not a bad makeup dude, good family, just a very low motor because he will thrive in LA because he will not be or he will be in the shadows, just not obsessed with the big leagues. Not everybody is a rah-rah guy, Eric. We'll start with you on this in terms of Kyle Tucker. I asked somebody else that knows him intimately, what he's like. And the personality, okay, maybe warning track dirt. That's okay. You don't have to be a cheerleader. You just have to be a good teammate. So what do you make of this anonymous staffer saying that? And I would imagine that any team that has Kyle Tucker on it is a better team for it.
100%. That player is a very good player. Everyone's going to bring up Anthony Rendon. How did that work out for the Angels? That's where the teams have to make their investigations. They have to figure that out before they give $240 million or however much Anthony Rendon got. I'm not saying he's on that level. I'm saying if he has a low heart rate, maybe that is helpful for him as a player. And you know what? Scouting reports aren't for everybody. You don't have to read scouting reports to be really good. That's okay. Like some guys who don't read scouting reports have the memory of an elephant. I remember 2 years ago, he threw this to me. And you know why that is? Because they don't have a lot of scouting reports jumbled up in his head. Am I afraid that he's not going to play out his 4 years with the Dodgers? Not at all. Zero. I am not afraid of that at all. What I'm afraid of is a freaking clubhouse guy who is with the Cubs saying, oh yeah, this is what I saw. Say your name. Say your name. Because the fact that now all these clubhouse guys, all these players are going to go into Chicago. They're going to go into spring training. They're going to go into the season and be like, what? Was that the guy? Was he the one? Like to me, that's a sacred area that if you're a clubhouse guy and you're judging me based on the one season I played in Chicago, I have a tough time you saying something about somebody. I really do. Now, should somebody call a clubhouse guy and be like, hey, what kind of tipper is he? What kind of preparation does he do? How is he prepared? Did he follow him to the video room? Did he follow him to the cage? I know there's a lot of guys who would go to the cage and be like, hey, who are we facing today? And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I just freaking watched every one of their relievers. I watched 3 of the last 4 starts of the starter we're facing, and I'm hitting 9th. I might get 1 or 2 at-bats against them. And one of the stars goes, who are we facing today? What has he got? And did the clubhouse guy see that? Does he know what makes his motor run actually? Or was he in the clubhouse and like, I want to relax. I'm going to see what's on my phone. That's okay. That's okay. it doesn't make him not a good player.
No doubt. I mean, AJ, not everyone's built the same way. Not everyone preps the same way. Not everybody is incentivized or motivated the same way.
Agreed. Listen, I wasn't a big scouting report guy at all. I didn't watch a lot of video. I just kind of was like, I didn't watch every reliever before they came in to pitch. I'm like, all right, they're bringing in a reliever, a lefty. Let me guess. He has a slider. He's going to throw me at some point. I don't know. I'm facing a right-handed starter that day. Who is it? Okay, well, if they have one pitch that I might need to be worried about, I might be like, okay, when does he throw it so I don't swing at it? But I wasn't a huge scouting report. What? To get your mind mumbled and jumbled with all this stuff, and then you get up there and you're like, oh, I'm frozen. I can't swing because he was supposed to throw me the 1-1 changeup, but instead he threw me a fastball right down the middle. Like, just react. And if that's the way Kyle Tucker goes about it, great. But he hasn't affected him because you know what? When he's healthy, he puts up numbers. He plays. He's great in the outfield. He steals bases for you. Like, what do you want? I mean, and by the way, one thing I hate more than anything, forget anonymous. Put your name on it, okay? Anonymous person in the Cubs organization. Because you know what you want to look? You want to look cool. And you want to look cool, by saying something about somebody who just left your organization for the Dodgers, okay? You want to look cool. You want to be like, we didn't want him anyways because, you know, he looked at his phone too much. Have you been in a clubhouse lately? Have you watched an NFL playoff game? Have you watched an NBA game? Have you watched a hockey game or any sport? When they show the locker room view, every single guy is on their phone. Every one of them. So every guy is on their phone too much? Like, come on. Like, put your name on it. And if you're whatever position you are in the organization, if you felt this way, then why didn't you say it before you signed? Because if you would have re-signed with the Cubs, guess what? You would have been like, he's a great guy. Da, 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 da. He's great because he doesn't look at a lot of scouting reports. Save it. Whoever said this, save it.
Hey, if a club came out and was like, hey, he's not a good tipper, then I'd be like, okay, you know what? That's fine. Like, this guy didn't give me a good tip. All right, you're mad about that. And the other part was the end of the comment where he said, I'd rather have a rookie any day. That might be one of the more tired statements in baseball. The guy who's like, I'll take 9 of these players and I'll win. No, you're just going to have a bunch of guys who are going to have a dirty uniform at the end of the day. And the end of the season, they're going to do nice. They're going to be nice. They're not going to be a good team. When you go to the big leagues, you have a small, finite window to win baseball games. For some people's career, it's a year. For AJ's career, it's 19 years. You want to win every single year. You want the best players out there. You do not want a rookie who is not better than Kyle Tucker just because he's ready to go. Give me the baseball. I'm going to run through a wall. You know what you're going to run through a wall and do? You'll hit like 240. Like, I tried my best. I was a 209 hitter. Nobody. I read all the scouting reports. I was not on my phone because I didn't feel like I could do those things to be able to play the little bit that I played in the big leagues. AJ Pierzynski was and still is a better baseball player than I am. Kyle Tucker is still better than any rookie that is getting called up this year. I would have a tough time believing that when he goes to the Dodgers this year, or if he would have come back to the Cubs, that a rookie is going to have a better season than he will. And so I have that. To me, that's a hard thing to hear at the big league level. Do you want guys on your team that play hard, work hard, do everything they can? Absolutely. But Kyle Tucker's still better than them, and that's okay.
I mean, and not for nothing, if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers or if you're any team and you're about to give a guy a 4-year, $240 million deal and you're going to pay him $60 million a year, don't you think they've done some fact checking about some character analysis and have done anything to think, you know what, is he going to fit well? The Dodgers don't need Kyle Tucker. The Dodgers wanted Kyle Tucker because it makes them better. But if the Dodgers didn't get Kyle Tucker, they're still going to be fine. So it's just ridiculous to me, this narrative surrounding him. Obviously, he's a coveted player. He doesn't have to be. Not everybody has the personality of a Jazz Chisholm Jr. that wants to be in the spotlight, that wants to, that's an animated guy that goes about things that way.
Right. And not every move that the Dodgers make is gold. They have signed free agents that are turds and have been gone.
Look at Conforto. Conforto last year didn't work out.
Conforto didn't work out.
Didn't work out, right? But that's fine. They don't all work. I mean, but the thing that just pisses me off is the anonymous. You know, don't say anonymous. Don't be anonymous. Don't be anonymous. Okay, if you got something to say about a guy, just say it, and then figure it out afterwards. If he wants to fight you, then you fight. But if he doesn't, and maybe then someone can come and defend him. Notice nobody went to Kyle Tucker and asked him how he felt about this anonymous source. Why didn't someone go to Kyle Tucker and ask him how he feels? Because then you don't get a story, and then you don't get the clicks, and then you don't get us talking about it on foul territory.
最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。今回の動画についてどういう感想を持たれましたか？ぜひコメント欄で意見や感想をお聞かせください。チャンネル登録やグッドボタンを押していただけると励みになります。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。